Hey, Michael Church, Crawl Space Ninja. We got a great Ask a Ninja from Drew, and he wants to know, can I add hardwood over a crawl space? That's a great question, Drew. Stay tuned. If you're new to Crawl Space Ninja, we talk about everything related to crawl space encapsulation, waterproofing, and indoor air quality. We hope you'll subscribe to our channel, ring that notifications bell, make sure you follow us on Facebook, check out our DIY store, and our franchise opportunities. A while back, we did a video about what happens if hardwood is installed over a wet crawl space. Basically, the moisture transfers from the crawl space to the subfloor to the hardwood, and many times you'll see hardwood beginning to cup or do different things like that, especially around HVAC registers and things like that. So it got me thinking. I decided to get online and look at some of the advice of other companies and even hardwood companies that they give for making sure that the crawl space is ready so that you can install hardwood. And here is some of the bad advice that I read about that. Number one, install vents at a rate of every 1.5 square feet for every 100 square feet of crawl space. That's kind of a code that a lot of people go into about a vented crawl space. Now, if you install a crawl space vent and it's supposed to be 1.5 square foot for every 100 square feet of crawl space, and you live in a humid environment like we do in Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, Delaware, places like that, all that's going to do is bring in hot, humid air into the crawl space, which can affect the moisture level of the subfloor and make the wood that you're going to install that crawl space or that hardwood on too wet to install. I have not met a more picky contractor than someone installing hardwood. They want the hardwood to be acclimated for a certain length of time. They want the subfloor to be dry enough so that they can install it, because they know that if they install that hardwood on a wet subfloor, it's going to ruin thousands of dollars worth of hardwood. So number one, don't leave your crawl space ventilated if you're in a humid environment. You want to control that humidity with a dehumidification system and seal those vents and that sort of thing. So that's bad advice number one. Bad advice number two is provide extra moisture protection by installing subfloor insulation and stapling a 3 mil or thicker plastic to the bottom of the joist. Can you imagine that? So they're wanting you to throw fiberglass or rock wool up in the subfloor between the joists and then staple a vapor barrier to the subfloor, to the bottom of the joist, in order to trap moisture between the subfloor you're installing the hardwood on and the bottom of the plastic. That is a big no-no as well. You should never, ever put plastic up against the joists of a subfloor of the crawl space. Always put the plastic on the dirt. Let the plastic help the moisture prevention at the dirt level, and don't trap it between the living space and the crawl space at the subfloor. So that was the bad advice I read. So let me give you some good advice. If you are going to install hardwood over a space that is a crawl space, make sure you control the humidity and the moisture in that crawl space all year long at all times, okay? Because you want to install a dehumidifier if you're in a humid area. You want to make sure there's no condensation on the ductwork. You want to make sure you seal those vents, have a great vapor barrier down, possibly encapsulate if needed. And also, if you've got water intrusion coming in either through the foundation wall or as the water table elevates after a rainstorm, make sure you install a water management system. We went on a case in Alabama where a homeowner spent $60,000 on hardwood. They did not put any money into their crawl space at all, and we literally saw the hardwood ripped up as it expanded, and the expansion joints weren't able to handle it. Even in his office, the desk actually shifted a little bit from where that hardwood had raised up from it becoming too moist and expanding too far. It had nowhere to go but up. So make sure you dry that crawl space before you install the hardwood. If you're gonna have a hardwood issue, it's gonna be from crawl space humidity. You of course could have some kind of plumbing leak that could affect it as well. So make sure you check all those things. I'm Michael Church with Crawl Space Ninja. We hope you make it a happy and blessed day, and we'll see you later.